Hello, my name is Jim. Welcome to my Booktube channel about books and reading and stuff. As you can see, I'm still phoning on my film. I'm filming on my phone because I'm still away in Pasanari. I saw a video by Kelly of books I'm not reading, which was very interesting. She asked, what is success on Booktube? And I thought I'd make a response video with my own ideas. This response will be divided into 4 categories, and I'll put timestamps below so you can jump to what interests you. The first will be a lot of statistics, so you can jump that if you're not interested in the statistics. Then I'll talk about reading, and then creativity, and finally community. These are 4 different areas where we can look at success or lack thereof. Start by looking at the numbers, statistics. YouTube likes to give us lots of numbers and analytics if we choose to look at them. Even without looking at them, we can see the number of subscribers and the number of views for each video, but they can go into a lot more detail than that. I have 672 subscribers. I've been on Booktube almost 2 years. In the first year, I got up to 500, but then it's been very slow getting up to 672. I see other booktubers overtaking me, like Margaret Bina, Book Time with Elvis, and Greg, another bibliophile reads. They've all overtaken me recently, and that's fine. They have great channels, and I love watching their content. One of the easiest metrics to look at is views. And on my channel, I have 2 Booktube videos which have over 1,000 views. My most viewed Booktube video is Georgian Literature 101, which at the time of filming has 1,243 views. This was looking at Georgian literature in English translation, and it has an audience both on the Booktube community but also on the local Georgian community who might be interested in seeing how Georgian literature is represented in English. The second most viewed video is What is Booktube? This has 1,045, and I use this as the intro video on my channel. It's got a lot of views, but it doesn't have a lot of watch time hours. Then there's my Booktube debut. This was the first Booktube video I put out, and when I put it out, I was involved in promoting it a lot on social media. I would send the links to many friends via Facebook Messenger, and I did all I could to get it out there, and it's paid off. It's got 460 views, which is very high for my channel. And then there's the A tag. On Booktube, I'm known as something of a tagmeister. I make tags. Most of this was due to my alphabetic tags of last year. I made 25 alphabetic tags. I know there's 26 letters in the alphabet. The last one was the YZ tag. But I started with the A tag and went B tag, C tag, and the A tag garnered the most views. And one I did before that, the A to J tag, was also quite successful for me, 398 views. This year hasn't been so successful with record-breaking views. My most viewed video is the Booktube numbers tag. I was pleased to see this has been taken up by some Spanish booktubers, which was quite a surprise to me. I don't really understand what they're saying, but they're using my prompts and they've translated them into Spanish. Then there's the Tbilisi English Book Swap, which is talking about the local book swap, which is where I get a lot of my books. Once a month we meet and we swap books. And then there's a couple of poetry ones. There's an Englishman reading a Georgian poem. I read Carrie Chris, a poem by Tlbidze in Georgian, and a lot of people were interested to see how I'd mangle the Georgian language, I guess. And then there was Slough by John Benjamin, Come Friendly Bombs and Fall on Slough, It Isn't Fit for Humans Now. That did very well, but usually my poetry videos barely get 50 views, if that. And the 10th on my table of most viewed videos on Booktube is Has Steve Read This? This was started by Daniel last year, Daniel of Guilty Feet, where we are challenging Steve to see if he'd read these books. And Steve, if you don't know him, is Steve Donahue, who's read an awful lot of books. And I put 8 books out there. Has Steve read this? And he'd read 5 of them. So I got 3 beans, which was quite pleasing because some people got 0 or 1 bean. I think the most was 4 beans, so 3 is not bad. Most viewed Booktube videos, but strangely on YouTube my most viewed videos are not Booktube. Of my top 5 viewed videos, only 1 is a Booktube video. I have more views for my very first video, which I put out way back in 2009, which was my debut stand-up, which has got 1900 views now. And second is one about my stuff, my Matchbox cars. I put out a video comparing Matchbox and Hot Wheels, asking what was the difference, and that's been very popular. It's had a very steady increase in the number of views over time. It's now approaching 1500 views. And I've also got 2 videos which were put out very quickly about the metro in Tbilisi, and both have got over 1,000 views. So clearly, if I want a lot of views on YouTube, I wouldn't be doing Booktube videos. I wouldn't be talking about books. The numbers a lot. I make lots of graphs and tables and things. If a video I put out has less than 100 views, I'm disappointed. If it has 200 or more, then I'm happy. As to monetization, I'm way off being even able to consider monetization. For that, on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers, which I'm not up to, but more importantly, you need 4,000 hours of watch time in a given year, and I've only got 700 and something hours of watch time, so I'm nowhere near monetization. And as I said, if I wanted to monetize the channel, I wouldn't talk about books, I'd talk about something else. Also, this is social media, and I don't have the face for social media. I may have the face for the radio, but not for social media. I'm old, my teeth are uneven and yellowed, and I haven't even shaved today, so I know looks are important. Keanu Reeves is 1 day older than me, but if this was Keanu Reeves doing this, there'd be a lot more viewers. Not just because he looks better than me, but also because he's a famous film star and a thoroughly nice guy. I've just had 5 videos which have had over 200 views this year. I said on the top 10 list, you saw the Booktube numbers tag and Slough. There's also the Victorian top 10. The I'm taking a break, my channel announcement to say I'm going to Pasanari and I won't put out any videos, which was a lie. I was here for a month and I got really bored, so I started putting out content again, even though I've just got this phone to film on. And my notorious video, Moby Dick is Trash, this got over 200 views. It also got a few dislikes and some commentary. I think a lot of those views were because Michael K. Vaughan, who's a much bigger booktuber than me, did a response video saying Moby Dick isn't trash. I don't think it's trash. It was a bit tongue-in-cheek, the Moby Dick is trash, because this is Garb August and we're having fun with garbage. I just thought it'd be fun to pick on a classic. Maybe I should do Pride is Prejudice is trash next time. Not because I believe it, but because it could garner some views, because people will be very drama gets views, as we saw with the whole Couch Change-a-Lago saga a couple of weeks back. How has being on Booktube affected my reading? This has been a lot more positive. I went from reading about 40 books a year to reading about 70 books a year, and I'm reading much more diversely. I've seen so many Booktube recommendations of different books from other Booktubers, and it's been really interesting discovering new authors. Last year, 2021, I read 69 books, and these were all by different authors. This year, they haven't all been by different authors. I've read 2 books by a few authors like Rebecca Roanhorse, who wrote Black Sun and Fevered Star, and Jim Butcher. I read the first 2 books of the Dresden Files. Louis L'Amour It was June on the Range back in June, again a Michael K. Vaughan thing. I joined NetGalley and Book Sirens. These are online sites where you can get advanced reader copies in electronic form. The idea is it promotes new books. You get a book, an ebook for free, but you don't have to, but you're expected to leave a review. And on NetGalley they expect you to review at least 80% of the books that you take from the site. I've got 100% at the moment on NetGalley. I've reviewed 21 books. I have a couple of books pending, and I'm waiting to see if they come before I order or request any more. Community. I think the biggest success for me is being part of this Booktube community, particularly on this corner of Booktube where there's so many warm and erudite people talking about books. Because I live in Georgia, the country, I don't think I'll actually meet any of these booktubers in real life. I think the closest booktuber I know is Berna over in the west of Turkey, and even Berna is almost 2,000 kilometers away by car, so I'm a long way distant of any booktubers I know. But I think I've made a lot of virtual friends or imaginary friends, I don't know, but there's a good rapport between people, and there's some booktubers, I love their content, and whenever they put out a video I'll watch it, like Margaret Pina or Pi at Attention. I could name many more. Way back in December 2020 I put out a video, 20 booktubers I follow and you should too. It was interesting. One of those was Man Carrying Thing, who at the time had about 400 subscribers and now has over 190,000 subscribers. So those are my gaps and gains. Kelly was looking at a book about the gap and the gain. The gap is where we see ourselves compared with where we want to be, and social media is very dangerous for this kind of thing. There's lots of influencers there and you'll never get to their levels. The gain is how you compare with yourself. With the numbers, I would like to have bigger numbers. I don't think at 672 subscribers this can be described as a success from the numbers point of view. Reading has been great. I've read so many new authors to me. I've expanded what I've been reading, the different genres I've been reading, different authors. So reading's been great. Creativity, this has been fun. And the community, I think, is the biggest gain from being on Booktube. Just being with a lot of like-minded people who love books. And yeah, like Kelly, sometimes I'll watch a booktuber. I might not be interested in their content, but I just love the booktuber and what they talk about and how they present their content. If you like this video, you can subscribe. It'd be nice to get 673 subscribers. Maybe 674. No, that might be too much. And I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.